As we head into the summer months, expect game releases to get a little bit lighter, and the month of June is very indicative of that. However, there are some lower key titles that you should keep your eyes on. In this video, we're going to take a look at the top 10 PlayStation 4 games coming in June, and I'm not going to lie to you guys and say that you should pick all of these games up on day one. Some of these games you're definitely going to be better off waiting for a sale on. However, there's still titles with potential. With that being said, let's get right into this. First up, we have Vampyr. Vampyr is an action RPG being developed by Don't Nod Entertainment, and while Don't Nod Entertainment is a studio that many of you are not familiar with, they have worked on some quality titles such as 2013's Remember Me. That was a pretty underrated game. They also worked on 2015's Life is Strange. Vampyr is their new title, and it actually looks to be relatively big budget, and it's got an interesting thematic. We don't see a lot of great vampire games, and the story itself revolves around Jonathan Reed, who was a doctor and he gets turned into a vampire, and he has these moral conflicts of what to do and how to react to his new bloodthirsty nature. The game is played in a semi-open world composed of 4 districts, and all of it can be destroyed based on your actions. While I don't expect Vampyr to be the best RPG of the year, I do hope for it to be of quality, because a quality Vampyr franchise is something that I would definitely appreciate. Vampyr is coming to the PlayStation 4 on June 5th.
It is the curse of the goddess. It is the hunger in you. The need for blood. The will to strike and to punish. To spit in the eye of God.
Next up, we have Warhammer 40k Inquisitor Martyr. Warhammer 40k Inquisitor Martyr is an action RPG, and it's set in the world established in the wargaming franchise Warhammer 40k, but the game itself utilizes a top-down camera and focuses on action. Both melee and range, has a leveling system, sounds a little bit like Diablo because it's a lot like Diablo. It does have destructible environments, and on the surface it does look pretty good. Considering we do have Diablo 3 on the PlayStation 4, we already have an experience like this, but with its different stylization, Warhammer 40k Inquisitor Martyr might be something to keep your eyes on. It releases on June 5th. Next up, we have BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. Now, this is a fighting game that's crossing BlazBlue, Persona 4 Arena, Under Night, and the Ruby franchises. The game will feature elements of all of those fighting games, but at the same time, mechanically, it will be much different. Cross Tag Battle will feature 2v2 battles and tag-ins similar to Marvel vs. Capcom, and as far as the roster goes, it's actually a little bit disappointing because the game itself is being released for $49.99, and it will have a total of 40 characters, 20 in the base game, 2 of them as free DLC, and the rest of the 18 characters will be premium DLC, so that is a little bit disappointing. That's a large chunk of the roster that's going to be behind a paywall. I mean, at this point with fighting games, we've seen it before, but that doesn't make it any more okay. However, as a fan of all of those franchises, Cross Tag Battle still might be something to keep your eyes on. It releases on June 5th.
正しき道を歩む我らに敗北はありません。
んだよ、文句あんなら相手になんぜ。上等だ。後悔すんじゃねえぞ、こら。ぐだぐだ言ってねえでかかってこい。やってやんぜ。おめえはそこで見てろ。あいつら俺がぶっ飛ばす。
Next up, we have a major expansion for The Elder Scrolls Online and The Elder Scrolls Online Summerset. The Elder Scrolls Online was an MMO with a lot of issues when it was originally released. An Elder Scrolls MMO was something we've wanted for so long, however the launch left a lot to be desired, but throughout the years it's become a better and better experience, and now comes the latest expansion in Summerset. This expansion includes a new zone, a new storyline, jewelry, crafting, and a brand new skill line. This expansion was already released on PC, but PlayStation 4 users will finally get their hands on it on June 5th.
The Psijic Order needs allies to stand against the coming storm. Join them learn the secrets of the old ways, master the techniques, and gain unimaginable knowledge. Without the power and guidance of the Psijic Order, nothing can stand against the Daedric threat.
Next up, we have Onrush. Onrush is an arcade racing game where you drive cars, motorcycles, and off-road vehicles across large levels over hilly terrain. The game itself is actually being developed by Codemasters, famous for the Dirt games. However, even more interesting is the fact that there were hirings made by Codemasters from Evolution Studios, a studio that Sony shut down, and they were famous for the racing franchise in MotorStorm, which was really good, so Onrush has a lot of potential from that standpoint. The game itself does have an open beta, so check that out. The full release will be coming on June 5th.
You can see a variety of different routes available, takes the high route, jumps down below, gets in amongst the stampede, takes out a couple of fodder, and earns some boost, and away he goes. So this is one of the AI vehicles in amongst the mix, getting some airtime, and then trying to stay alive. Here's the Enforcer truck, speeding up the ramp, hitting boost in the air, accelerating towards the ground, crushes the opposition before igniting Rush and taking out another competitor.
Jurassic World Evolution. Jurassic World Evolution is a business simulation game being developed by Frontier Development, famous for Elite Dangerous and more recently Planet Coasters. And in Jurassic World Evolution, you'll be able to construct a Jurassic World dinosaur theme park with attractions and research facilities. These styles of games aren't for everyone. More famous for making an impact on PC, it is nice to see a diverse lineup of games also appearing on the PlayStation 4 and a relatively unique experience. If you're a fan of Jurassic World, there's going to be a lot of fan service in this one. Otherwise, it might be one to pass up on for now. Jurassic World Evolution hits the PS4 on June 12th. Next up, we have new Gundam Breaker. I've always said that the mecha line of games leaves a lot to be desired. While we have seen excellent titles such as Zone of the Enders, I wish the Gundam games were just a little bit better, and while they're not bad, they really are suited for fans of the license instead of being high-tier action games that anybody can get into. But now we have new Gundam Breaker, the follow-up to Gundam Breaker, and once again, it'll be a hack-and-slash action game. If you played the past Gundam games, it's gonna be right up your alley. Otherwise, I don't know if this one's gonna alter your opinion in a gigantic way, but it looks to have a pretty decent story mode, and it'll allow you to team up in a new 3v3 co-op mode. So that could be something pretty cool as well. New Gundam Breaker hits the PlayStation 4 on June 22nd.
看你决定什么时候要用，
でそのストックしたパーツをすぐつけることができます。
可以马上要用的就拿上，像刚刚有看到他拿了就用。
で先ほどレベルを上げてるって言ったんですけど、レベルが上がれば攻撃力とか防御力とかスピードとかがどんどん上がっていきます。
然后这边的数字只要上升的话，你的攻击率，然后速度、防御力也会一直上升。
チェンジングパーツ。
耶，对。
今デランゾンの足を。
Next up, we have Far Cry 3 Classic Edition. Yes, we just got Far Cry 5 back in March, but one of the promises with Far Cry 5 was if you own the season pass for that game, you are getting Far Cry 3 Classic Edition absolutely free. Now with Far Cry 3 coming to the PlayStation 4, you can either re-experience the game, or if you're going into it for the first time, you're getting a very high quality game. Although if you've played FC4 and FC5, a lot of sameness here, but the main antagonist is one of the best you're gonna see in all of gaming. That is not hyperbole. Far Cry 3 has an exceptional main antagonist that really was the highlight of the entire game. Far Cry 3 Classic Edition will be hitting the PlayStation 4 on June 26th. Next up, we have a game that not a lot of people are talking about, and that is Lumines Remastered. Lumines was originally released on the PSP, and it's a music rhythm game that is absolutely awesome. This is a game that is super addicting, and if you haven't played it and you like quirky music, Lumines Remastered is going to be right up your alley. This version is going to be very similar to the original, but it will feature enhanced visuals and support for higher resolutions. Lumines Remastered is coming on June 26th. And finally, and possibly the biggest game of June, it is The Crew 2. The Crew 2 is the follow-up to the highly ambitious Crew put out by Ubisoft, and this game looks to be even more ambitious. Once again, it'll feature a persistent open-world environment, but it'll feature a wide array of different vehicles. In addition to cars, of course, there will be planes, motorcycles, and boats. Each vehicle is going to have their own control physics, and gameplay is different with each one of them. Again, this is a game with a gigantic emphasis on multiplayer, so if you have a couple of friends to play with, the experience is going to be even better. Of course, if you want a solo experience, it's going to offer that as well, but The Crew 2 looks to be a far better game than the first, and hopefully with The Crew 2, it's reminiscent of what Assassin's Creed 2 did for Assassin's Creed, because while the first game had its issues, the sequel just refined the experience and made it far more enjoyable. Maybe that's what we'll get with The Crew 2 as it releases on June 29th.
Having playtests in Lyon every week, players coming to the studio, sharing their feedback. So for us, it's very important to be linked with this player and to learn from them, to improve the experience, to add, to discover more discipline we can add, or more stuff we can put in the game. And we have an example, the Fast 5 feature, was coming for the community because they were asking for, players were asking for having the ability to select their favorite vehicle, so we put that, and then we added a small switch because you can switch now from your favorite vehicle between planes, boats, and bikes, or cars. We wanted to make sure that the player, if they want to explore, they want to be challenged, or to just to play even.
So that concludes the top 10 upcoming PlayStation 4 games of June 2018. What do you think? Are you picking any of these games up in June? Again, I know that these games are flying under the radar. Usually that is the case when you're heading into the summer months, but still some quality titles here, and some games at the very least you should add to your wish list and pick up down the line. Maybe in the fall you can get these games for rather cheap. Sound off with your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.